Good morning, one and all. I hope you had a great weekend and you are off to a wonderful start to your marvelous Monday. It is our last Monday together, which is a little bit sad, but I'm also very excited for you guys because in just a few days, you guys are going to be officially sixth graders, and that is crazy to me, but I'm so excited for you. So let's take a look at our jobs for this last week of school here. Today we have number talk. We're getting into fractions, was what we were just starting to work on when school got out. So we'll have some fraction practice today. I'll help you with that in just a minute. We have another story problem for today. You've got Unit 4. We skipped Unit 3 for some reason. We're going right into Unit 4. It'll be day 1 again. And then you've got practice on your 3s because like I've told you a few times, once you know your 3s, your 6s shouldn't be that bad because 6 is just double 3. And then you've got cover-up fractions, which I have a video up for you to give that a game a go. It's a pretty quick game this week. I think you'll like it. So before I show you some examples here, she only has one practice one today, so I made up a few. She says, make equivalent fractions using a number line area model and numbers. Use the rules times 2, times 3, and times 4. I'm going to do some like that, but it doesn't always work with 2, 3, and 4, so I'll show you some other options too. So as you can tell, she started off with a half, and she wanted to find what values or fractions would also be equal to that half. So on a number line, I'm always going to be at half, but it's going to look differently. Just like if you said you had 5 tenths or 50 hundredths, those are the same amount of things, but they don't look the same. So if you go over here on this first one, here's her original half, which was half of that value, but then she doubled it. And when she doubled the half, she also needed to add on that extra half so that she still had half of the picture, which is what they did right here. She had half, they doubled it, but now she has 2/4. Half and 2/4 are the same value, they just look different. Same thing here. Here's the original half. Now she tripled it, 1, 2, 3, but she has to keep 3 of those pieces colored to still have half of my big picture. And here we were at half. There's your original half, but now we're quadrupling it, timesing it by 4. So I'm going to have to color in 4 pieces to still have half, which now gives me 4/8. So let's look at a few examples really quickly. Here's the original third that was on there. I'll stick with the times 2, times 3, and times 4 for this one. So if I had a third, and I needed it doubled to have an equivalent fraction, I would do 1 times 2 is 2, and 3 times 2 is 6. Now I have 2/6, which if you wanted to look at a picture quickly, here's my original third. Boom. Keeping this. But now I've doubled my picture to get 2/6. I still have this third, and that as an overall picture made me 2/6. Which, if you look right here, I brought a picture for you. I have a third. If I would have had all 3, boom, boom, I would have a full circle. But if you can kind of imagine cutting it in half, then now it would be in 2 pieces, but they wouldn't be worth 2/3 because I cut it. It doesn't make any sense. I now have 2/6. That 1/6 is a perfect chunk of this because I cut it into 2 pieces just like this. Okay, so now if I went back to my third and I'm working with the triple, it's kind of like cutting it in 3 pieces this time. So it would take 3 pieces to make this one, 3 pieces to make this one, 3 pieces to make this one. I'm now dealing in ninths. How many of them would I have that fill up this picture? Well, I'd need 1, 2, 3 because I cut it in 3 parts. That's what I did right here mathematically. So 3/9 would also be equal. And if I took it and now think about cutting it in 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, it's still going to take 4, because I just cut this one in 4, to fill that, but now I'd 4, 8, 12 pieces in my whole puzzle to make my whole circle. So 4/12 is also equal to that 1/3. Okay, here's another one. You've got fifths. So let's just say I am going to cut this one in half. So I need double the amount of pieces to fill up that space. Boom. I would need 2/10 this time because I'd have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pieces making up my whole circle. And just for those of you who don't believe me, here's 2/10 make up 1/5. They're equal in value. Okay, so I have 2/10. Let's just say I don't want to times by 3. I'm going to times by 5 this time. That's okay. For your answers for your teachers, if you want to use times 2, 3, 4, that's totally fine. But just so you guys can see how it works, because in another problem this week, you're going to need to be able to multiply by lots of things. I could take this and times it by 5 pieces. I'd end up at 5/25, which is also equal. Just to show you that these are really all equal across, I'm going to take my 1/5 and I'm going to times it by 4. But I'm also going to take this 2/10 and turn it into the same denominator of 20. 5 times 4 was 20, so I would need 4/20. To get this one there, I could times it by 2, and I'm still at 4/20 because these were the same fraction all along. So I can turn them into the same thing in the end because they were equal. All right. And one last one, just to show you how it works. I'll go back to the 2, 3, 4 things here in that routine for your problem today. But I made a fraction that didn't have a 1 on the top just to show you that still works too. Because in later problems this week we'll need that. So we've got, I'll go with times 2. And that would make me 4/14. The math works the same, but now instead of having that, 2, 3, 4, 2, 5, 4, because that's what I was multiplying by, now I have double the pieces. So I'm going to have 4/14 because I had to multiply that top number 2. So down here, I would get 6/21. Still equal, just looks different. Times it by 4, and I'm going to get 8/28. Okay, I can't remember if I said it, but if you're having a hard time with this, there's a great level on ST Math where it kind of drops bars down on equivalent fractions. I forget what level it's in, but it's a great level for practicing this if you need an extra practice at it, because fractions never go away in life. Anytime you go to cook or do just about anything, you need fractions. So make sure you have that really under control. This is your answer to send to your teacher. I did put a note on here. It says to type a fraction on the computer, use the slash bar. It's kind of like a backslash, which means like this 1/4 will look like this on a computer. So don't let that confuse you if you go to type them. Have a great day.